Okay, Brittany, you're not a victim. And yeah, you're not a victim. And I'm sick and tired of you now playing this victim card. And I don't know, the whole of this episode was, I knew it was going to be something like this where she was going to pretend as if like she's a victim and oh my God, poor me. And I'm just over it at this point. Like, I'm pretty sure the next episodes are going to be the same thing where she's trying to play victim and obviously trying to use the platform to get sympathy from people. And I'm so glad that Angela actually clocked her basically coming up with her lies just to gain sympathy. Now, of course, we saw where it is the aftermath from what Kenya did last episode, and we saw where everybody gave their take on what were their thoughts. Of course, no one supported in what Kenya did. Then we got to where we saw the scene with Angela and her husband. I'm not sorry, Angela, Britt and her husband, where they were basically discussing everything that went down, and she was pretty much saying that everybody has been calling her phone, whatever the case might be, and blah, blah, blah. And for me, in this whole entire scene, I saw no sympathy or empathy from her husband. He was just sitting on the other side of the couch while she speaks. Um, I don't know, guys. Like, for me, the scene seemed a bit very performative. I was just watching it with just a stone cold look because I felt no emotion from her. I felt like all she was doing is playing it for the cameras, trying to force her cry. And I'm not saying that something like this happening is not traumatic, but just the way how she was behaving in the scene, I was not feeling any empathy towards her. And I don't know if it has to do with because she somewhat started it. I could not feel any empathy towards her, and maybe that's why her own husband was not even so sympathetic towards her because she was pretty much like, I got she was just playing this shit up for the cameras. She was doing the most, to put it that way. Um, we saw where she had her Kelly coming over, and it's the same. Like Kelly is there being a supportive friend, and I don't know. Brit is not giving me. She really cares. I think she's happy that Kenya is gone, and maybe she's the one who got Kenya to leave, and she's now trying to win back the hearts of the viewers by trying to be sympathetic, by trying to cry, by trying to make it seem like, oh my God, I've lost so much because of what this one person did. But you could care zero when you were making your threats towards Kenya. It's quite funny. Huh. Now, the next scene where we saw is, I believe, even the scene with her mom. You said you were a video vixen from in your teenager years, and you were saying that you did this sex tape with your boyfriend in your teens, and then you are also a webcam model, and now you're supposedly all okay with your past. But I don't remember you mentioning the webcam section when you were doing your intro onto the show. You only mentioned about you were being a video vixen. Now that your past got exposed, you're so okay or accepting of your past, and you're fine with being a webcam model because your past got exposed. And your mom seemed like she was not even surprised that you're concerned about having to speak to your mom about you doing this or whatever it is. But the fact that you were doing all of this in your past, it sounds like your mom was quite okay or quite aware of what was going on when it came on to you and what you used to do. So I don't know how. Now you're trying to play it as if like, oh my God, someone is trying to draw me out or expose my past or anything like that. You were saying that you lose your insurance, she's messing up your business. I'm sure you did not care much about Kenya when you were making your threats outside. So now that you're concerned that your business may be messed up because she exposed your thing in front of many people and media was there and everything was there. And honestly, all I can say to you, Britt, is you cannot push your hand in the lion's den and then be surprised with how the lion reacts to you putting your hand in the lion's den. And that is what you exactly did. Even when I was watching Watch What Happens Live, you still, it's been a year after, and you still don't even have a proper reason as to why Kenya was supposedly treating you cold or treating you away. I still to this day do not see it, and it's been a year and you still cannot come up with a proper reason. And if that's what you're going to do for the reunion, what you did on Watch What Happens Live, I'm so sorry. Like, it's not helping you because you had a whole year and you still came on Watch What Happens Live. And I realized with this episode, obviously, it was shot previously and not shot. It was not a live episode. And you still could not find a reason. And I think even Andy looked at it like, no one knows what your reason is. You're saying that it's not just about the ring, but she had a target at you for day one. And this victim thing that you're trying to pull or push or go with, it's not helping your case. And I don't know what are you thinking you're getting out of it. I know some persons are all for you, but I just think they just like to be a part of the minority because for some reason people just don't like Kenya. So they just want to go on the other side. And that's what I'm getting from this. Like, you're doing this victim blaming and saying, oh my God, Kenya did this, Kenya did that. But when am I hearing what you did? You're downplaying like what you did is not that important and it's not that serious. But oh well. Got to the scene where we got Kelly with her daughter, and this is where they were discussing, you know, the whole situation with her and her ex-husband. And of course, it was a scene where I think some article came out and she was talking to her older daughter about it, saying also that the ex-husband wants to file for custody. Of course, of the two daughters, that is his. So she was saying that he doesn't care about her, which is very sad to know that she feels that way, where she feels as if like this guy, which may or may not be true, where he doesn't care much about her. He only wants custody of the children that is his and not her. So, you know, she had that scene with her daughter. She was saying the same thing again regarding going to marriage. Like, I'm sure seeing what her mom is going through may put a negative light if she herself wants to get married. And I think that was a, you know, touching scene. The next scene we had, I believe it was Shamia. She brought over the ladies over to her house, and we finally got some insights to Portia when it comes on to her divorce from Simon. Drew touched on it. I loved how Angela kind of switched the focus to Portia because we still have not get much from what's going on in Portia's life. And I'm happy that Angela was able to switch that focus over to Portia for her to somewhat open up. And thankfully, she did not do she doesn't want to talk about it because Drew is here. She actually went into it and we saw some insight. Whether I care or not, at least we got some insight. She said she feels away because her daughter basically has some attachment to Simon, was asking for Simon, and he was, I guess, she messaged regarding her, and he read the message and did not respond. I don't remember how long is it that Portia and this guy has been married, but Portia is giving me like she was married to this guy for 10 years, and her daughter have some serious attachment towards him. Because as far as I'm concerned, Pilar has a relationship with her dad. I don't know if it's her dad being a deadbeat. So the way how Portia is behaving, it gives off as if like Simon, Dennis is nowhere to be found, and Simon stepped up fully, and Pilar is so in desire need to speak or see Simon. And again, I don't know what relationship they had during the short period of time that they were married. But it's just given like like she was married to this guy for 10 years, and you can see where she seems like she doesn't even really want to leave him. But I guess the public shame or or the embarrassment of it all when it comes on to Simon on his case, hence why the divorce and why she doesn't see herself getting back together with him. But at the same time, it still seems like she's not necessarily wanting to actually divorce. So, and plus how he is dragging her in the media, I could see why she is so iffy. Because at one point you want to divorce this guy, but at the same time he's exposing your ass. So it's like you just don't know what to do. And Yeah, Portia, you have it out for you. I do hope we dive deeper into this situation because this Dennis and Drew situation is not the storyline, and it's not giving someone who is coming back to the show and everybody was excited for it, but yet we have nothing much coming from you. And I can imagine how much they actually paid you to come back to the show only for them to not really be getting anything out of you. And that's must suck big time. We got to where we saw the ladies were discussing. We got to where we saw we had Drew and Angela, and I believe it was Shamia in the studio, and they were discussing, Shamia's music and how she felt again when that Portia was kind of basically saying that the music that she was playing sounded like Drew, and they discussed the whole of that situation, and that's where we can kind of start to see the little cracks when it comes on to Portia and Shamia's friendship, where she does feel some type of way regarding what Portia said, and I am still waiting to see when Shamia is going to have that conversation with Portia about it, because we saw in another scene where they met up to do some gaming activity, and she really was touching mostly on Portia and her situation, which you could see where Portia seemed like she didn't really want to get into it. She kind of was just being coy about the whole what's happening. And this is what, again, I'm not know what they're paying Portia for, because she came on wanting to show a lifestyle with her and Simon. They didn't get that. She's going through a divorce, and yet your main focus is talking about Dennis and Drew. And the way she was explaining it to Shami, I still do not even understand what the hell is the real issue that you have. You're trying to say that you don't want it to interrupt the flow of your co-parenting when it comes on to you and Dennis, but I don't see how Drew, if you don't have a problem with them working together musically, you don't care if they're even smashing. I don't still, maybe my brain is just not doing that much thinking, but I don't see how him coming onto the show, filming for her in the studio and stuff to help promote the album, how does that affect you, and why is that such of a concern? And it still does not make sense to me, Portia. You probably have to break it down to me in ABC, but it does not make sense. Why is that such an issue for them to be filming together? And you went on your YouTube and saying that you think the whole of that situation is pretty much fake. So I don't know why, if you think it's fake, why is it that you're using this entire storyline basically to make it seem like you have such an issue with them filming together? I do not understand it. You maybe have to explain it to me, but it does not make any sense to me as to why this is such a major concern. And if that's what you're planning to use to carry your ass throughout the entire season, I could already tell that you're going to be a flop. And more likely, they're still going to seat you next to Andy because, again, you're the head honcho in charge. But yeah, it's not giving. It's not giving what you think it's giving. And I'm really getting tired of it already. And we're on like episode 6. And we're still talking about you, Dennis, and why Drew is filming with Dennis. The next scene, which is the final scene we had, which was the peace thing that Kelly was putting together for BRIT. And BRIT, I must say, you are a fan of Kenya. The fact that you're using her words, this is now your second time you're doing something like this. And I see that you come in trying to gain sympathy from the rest of the ladies, wanting them to all of them to be on your side and turn against Kenya. And the fact that Kenya is no longer here, I can see inside that you're loving the fact that she got booted basically, and you just want everybody to say yes, she was wrong, to turn against her. And I loved how Angela kind of clocked you when you started to say that you lost your insurance license. Then in 1 minute you're saying that they're investigating, and then on Watch What Happens Live you're saying that you still have your license. So it's just to show the lies that you're telling just to gain sympathy. And I honestly feel, in my opinion, that no one was investigating anything. You lost no license, and hence why now you're saying that you still have your license, because you know it can come out where you still have your license. So now you're coming with this thing that investigation was done and they found. I would love to see this investigation, because I do not believe that no one was investigating your ass. I think they probably all knew you were pretty much a video vixen, whatever, in your past. And I loved how Angela, which I'm sure you never thought Angela, who has a license in mortgage, I believe, would know about this, because you really were planning to come at the table and tell your lies in front of the ladies who have no idea about when it comes on to license and stuff. But I'm sure the fans, when they saw the episode, would have still clocked your ass. But I'm happy that Angela called it out, and the energy that you were having towards Angela, you were telling about read the fucking room. It's like, there we go again with you taking something from 0 to 100, and then at the same time will sit and cry victim because what you're saying is your wrong choice of words. And this is why I cannot understand why certain people are in the press supporting Brit to make it seem as if she used the wrong choice of words. And we're clearly seeing where in every situation she overthinks, or she adds a sauce to something, and then she takes it from a 0 to 100 and then wants sympathy and wants to play victim. And I'm happy that Angela seems to be the only voice of reasoning to say you have to take some ownership in what you did to how it reached here. Because I think people are forgetting it did just not reach here overnight. Kenya did not just get up. Yes, what she did was wrong, but she did not just get up and decided, hey, I'm just going to expose Brit today. It started with you, Brit. And I think that's what she's forgetting, that she's just like, wrong choice of words. It's not wrong choice of words if you basically threaten someone's life. You said it more than once. So you went on the internet and you lied about it, and then you're coming back here trying to play victim to saying that is the wrong choice of words and how poor me. It does not make any sense. And I'm happy that Angela was able to be at the table, because if she was not there, the other ladies probably would have sat there and listened to your bullshit lies that you were coming with. And I'm happy she was not here. Angela was not here for it. And then when you said something about her twirling out, I'm happy again Drew was there to say, like, oh my God, you're now using Kenya's words. Like, it is so bad you're really using Kenya's words. And then you're here saying that you're not a fan and you're this. You use it at the event where you said something again about twirl or whatever. No, something about I didn't send for you. And now you're here saying something again for Kenya. You are clearly a fan at this point, and I don't know what more it is gonna take for you to actually just decide to just own the fact that you are a fan of this girl, because it's getting annoying. And of course, this is your press week, and you're just using the press, basically trying to come off as if like you are so apologetic and you came with intentions to make it right. And no, you actually were on the line maybe to lose your job, and you decided that someone tell you that you need to do this apology tour, and this is what you're doing. But I really can't wait for the reunion. I really hope they bring Kenya to this reunion, because I would love to see the two of them go back and forth at it, because right now Brit's what she's saying does not make sense, and you want Kenya to humble herself. Girl, at this point, get off the show. I'm just sick and tired of you at this point, and I don't care what no one else says, but I don't think I will ever be a friend of Brit if she keeps moving the way she's moving right now. Sorry, not sorry. But let me know, guys, in the comment section, what were your thoughts on the episode. Leave your like on the video. Also, remember to share the video and also subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.